So let's not make any waste any time. Back with this set of coils. Well, this is the Textile Massacre coils, but it's another set of coils. I left off on wrapping those, the other set. We're going to show you another step that I do just to make sure, you know, ohms on a set of coils. You know, 1.5 ohms of resistance for a 1.25 inch 8-wrap coil is what the standard is. If you have more ohms than that, typically it's going to be it's going to mean that it's evidence that either there's poor quality, it's not copper wire, it's aluminum, it's more wire than 8 wraps, you know, or it could possibly be, you know, maybe a short going through somewhere, something like that. But anyway, I like to test mine as I'm done wrapping them. I base it on, if I'm doing 8 wraps and I'm doing a smaller coil, shorter coil than say a 125, say I'm doing like a 1-inch coil, or I'm doing like a some coils you get they're 1.15 inches, blah blah blah. I still want those shorter coils to have the same amount of resistance that a 1.25 inch coil would have. Meaning, I want it to have the same amount of wire, and the ohms kind of gives me an indication that I've got about the same amount of wire on there. I'd rather have a little more than less. Okay, so this coil here, before I test it out, you know, I've got it on the on this screw here. After I've done the wrap of it, I'm going to put my heat gun on it, and I'm just going to, you know, shrink tube the bottom in, or heat shrink it all around. A nice wet black look to it. Okay. Turn this thing off one-handed. I need more hands, god damn it. Why couldn't I have been an octopus? Okay. Anyway, that was stupid. But I'm going to cut the excess off of the coil core top. Okay, and that just kind of, once you heat shrink it, that'll snap. So my green one from Home Depot conked out on me, and I was getting all kind of weird ohms readings. I'm like, 14 ohms for one coil. Something is wrong. It's not the coil. Here's the ohm meter. Anyway, I don't know if you can see the deal on here. We're shooting for 1.5 or slightly higher because it's not a 125 coil. It's a little shorter. Okay. And we've got we got 1.7. That's good. That's good. Because for a set of 1.25 coils, 8 wrap, you want it to be 1.5 each, or 3 ohms for the set. Okay. So that being said, this is a little shorter than a 125 inch coil. I wrapped it 10 times, okay, and that gives me a reading of 1.7. I'm cool with that, okay. Now if it read like 2.5, I'd be like, what the fuck? All right. So keep in mind that ohms are important. They tell you about how much wire is or isn't on that coil core that you have, and if it's aluminum or if it's, you know, copper. At any rate, okay, we're going to go ahead and set that down. Okay, I've got these coils on here on my coil jig. I'm going to trim them down to the lengths that I want. This is the wires that go in the front, the 2 start wind leads. Okay, I'm going to clean these up real quick, and then I'm going to wire them together. Where's my lighter? Okay, here it is. Okay, go ahead and give them a quick little torch. Burn! Fire! Fire! That was cool. 80s, baby! Who was that in the 90s? I don't know. It's all a blur. Anyway, I'm stupid. Okay, here we go. Let me clean these 2 start wind leads on these coils and go ahead and twist them up, man. You got me twisted, Holmes. Alright. Go ahead and make these good and tight. Okay. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put a little solder A little flux on my wire. Flux on my solder gun. Nothing like good flux. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and just heat this gun up real quick, and I'm gonna. And the images on here are ones that mean something to me, so these just be a set of coils for me. Kind of represents my shop in a theatrical kind of way. Sin City Tattoos, it's only fitting that I have machines that have coil covers that represent sinful symbols. Ooh, I'm scared. Okay, go ahead and get a good bead on this these two front start wine leads. Okay, there we go. That already me. There we go. Those are good and soldered. Make double sure, double tap. Solder them till they tap out. There we go. Okay. Now, in doing that, I saw a little piece of shrink tube in here that I need to use. Right here, we'll find a small piece fell off this backside here. Anyway, okay. Now, on the shrink tubing, you go from smaller size to larger size, so that smaller sizes go inside larger sizes, so that it looks neat and clean. It's called a clean build. Okay. So, slide that rascal on there. Okay, we're going to give it a little heat shrink. Okie doke. I think I heard it say it was done. I'm done. See? Okay, now I've got this rubber band on here, like I said. I like to keep that rubber band on there. So what we're going to do is slide these two front start wine leads, which are the two wires in the front of the coil, up under. We're going to slide them up under yonder. If you're from Oklahoma, there you go, under yonder. It's all good. Okay, slide that in there. Now, here we have front binding post, rear binding post. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get my capacitor and stuff out here. Off the frame of the camera momentarily. Okay, here's the machine. The liner, fast liner. Yikes. Duty cycle. We can see it. 54, 55, right in there percent. Okay. Good and strong. Running 8.5 volts. And that thing hurts. I mean, I don't need to. You don't need it at 8.5 volts really. But that's a strong. That duty cycle's good. 55%, 53 right in there. That's damn fine. Okay. It's a fast liner. I've got it drilled out a little speed bar on there for myself. Nice set of little 10 wrap coils. Got some cool imagery on there that I like. Got a scarred up powder coated frame. Good stuff. Okay, anyway. friend of mine asked to mention something about the front spring. Doesn't have anything to do with how fast the machine runs, as wanting me to correct somebody on that he had heard. We'll just show you real quick if the front spring has anything to do at all with how fast the machine runs. I'll turn it on. Okay? Front spring does a couple things. The gauge of front spring determines deflection. Angle of front spring, you know, how high up or how less of a bend you have, determines stroke. As for speed of a machine, there are only two controls on this entire setup, other than your hand motions, that dictate what this machine does. This contact screw gap, opening or closing it, determines speed. That is the only speed control you have on this entire tattoo machine system. And if you say otherwise, you're fucking stupid. I'm sorry, but this controls speed. Power supply controls how much power goes to these coils, which means that translates into how hard or how strong a magnetization these coils produce, which translates into how hard it pulls this armature bar down. Speed, power, or strength of downward pull. Speed and speed. Strength of downward pull. That's it. If you say this front spring has nothing to do with how fast this machine goes, you got your head in your ass. See you, Bill.